Hmm. Medivh Murden. Okay. That's okay.
A lot of Kel'Thas bans tonight. I'm not sure.
I don't.
I mean, we said this that Ariel Medivh gets punished by Kel'Thas because of the spread
Mm,
damage from Chain Bomb. So I think maybe 1 HP should ban Ariel and just not let that happen.
yeah.
But they are the ones who banned Kel'Thas, so now I really don't understand what's going on in this draft. We do see the Jaina Johanna Zagara. That's an old school combo. But
Mm.
this, I mean, this is Shrine, so Maw is going to get a little bit more value than Night Storm because it's not that big. They have the Wombo combo. What is 5 Chen meta doing?
They're throwing me for a loop. I can tell you that. I mean, you go from Medivh this early and then follow up with, as universal a pick as Murden. It's like, what cards do they have up their sleeve? Like, it doesn't seem like they would go for Stitches if they already have Murden. I think they'd be short on damage that way. Master's Touch would more or less have to be had if they were going for that. Um, but yeah, there's got to be some kind of gimmick here, right? Like, there has to be a reason you take Medivh. Like, keep Tracer alive, a hero like Illidan, something like that. But meanwhile, 1 HP is playing this a lot more straight up. I would imagine we'd see Nidus Network at Azagar. That would be good.
What if it's
So
the Butcher?
I would be happy. Put a smile on my face, can tell you that one. But yeah, Sanch, it did. He told me it was from EU. I forget the team that used it, so yeah, it was Navi. But I don't think anyone had named it before.
Arika, that is actually true. Ariel's not in top drafter, but she's allowed for Chair League. So what we're having teams do is establish which hero is representing Ariel before they start the draft.
Yeah. So Uther is gonna get picked up, so they have their support. They have one more hero to select in this round, and they're gonna land on Tychus. I don't. I guess this last pick is gonna be the wild card that says, "Oh, all right, that's why they went for Medivh." Because I just don't see it right now.
I mean, Tygus is considered a pretty good counter to Muradin in the Korean pro scene. You chunk out a Muradin from a fight, he's forced to disengage. Even if you don't kill him, he can't stay, right? He doesn't have that survivability that you normally depend on when you draft a Muradin comp.
Right.
And generally speaking, any low mobility tank like Johanna, if Tygus can just stand there and keep AAing you, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. Johanna does have a blind to mitigate that a little bit, but it's a good idea to pick draft Tygus versus relatively immobile warriors. And 1 HP going to respond with the Greymane, who's also actually very vulnerable to Tychus. Greymane's survivability comes a lot from the fact that his health scales at 4.5% instead of 4. He has the second highest health pool of any ranged assassin after Tychus. In the late game, it's actually higher. So that's 2 heroes now that are easy food for Tychus to chunk out very early on in team fights.
I mean, this is another one of those fortunate situations where you're just like, oh, I'm glad I picked Tychus since they're picking heroes that go into everything I want to do to them. That's fortunate for me. That's the second time we've really seen that tonight. 1 HP has 4 seconds left before they have to take somebody, and they need a support, and it's gonna be Brightwing.
And that's a huge advantage on Cursed Hall because of the global. But I'm concerned about Brightwing being able to deal with the level of damage that Tychus just throws out constantly, especially if he normally you can collapse on the Tychus, you can kill him. That's one way of negating that damage. But then Force of Will is going to come up, and then you can't kill him. I don't see what they're going to do. They could literally Force of Will into Divine Shield into Force of Will the Tychus, and the Tychus could kill the entire team in that duration, and they lock in Chromie for the last pick. Oh my god.
I saw some Chromie action earlier. Did we cast one of that? Did we cast that? It was on Sky Temple.
We did not cast that. That's the one game tonight we did not cast together.
All right. Yeah, Chromie. It didn't work out for Chromie. Spoiler alert. So I don't know. They might have to worry about that.
Also, Chromie is very good on shrines. You have that vision constantly once the shrines are up, and you can steal kills on minions with your W, and unexpectedly just chunk people for huge amounts of damage. It's going to be very difficult for Brightwing to heal that back up. If Brightwing can anticipate the damage, then post 13 she can negate quite a bit of it with Shield Dust. But prior to that, if you're getting hit by the Chromie combo, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. Also, Medivh portals plus temporal plus shifting sands is going to provide so much zoning and so much disengage that if anyone does happen to get low through the Medivh, through the Uther heals, you're still probably not going to be able to secure a kill.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think how 1 HP wins a team fight here, especially late game. Because it's like, if reabsorption gets picked up at 16 for Medivh, Force of Will is going to definitely keep Chromie alive. That I'm starting to see some of the synergy as far as all that goes. But it just feels like Greymane has to get a kill off of Go for the Throat. And Jaina has to do work with every ability for this to happen. And I think this might be a Devouring Maul type of situation. I don't know if I don't think they can get away.
Need Maw. I don't
Yeah.
think if they need to get a big Maw on one of the shrine fights, I think, and follow it up with that ring in order to win any of the team fights that are going to be coming up.
I don't know how they get away with it otherwise. We'll see though. Chair League, Heroes of the Storm, anything can happen, and we just might see that. We're loading into the game now. This is going to be a best of one. What division is this, Cavalier?
I believe all the games I'm casting tonight are placements.
Yeah, this is a placement game.
It is. It is a placement game. Apparently, everyone who was doing placements wanted to do them on Monday. I don't know what to tell you. I don't have any Pro Division games till like Wednesday.
Oh wow. I have one Pro Division tomorrow, then Team Blaze on Innervate 44. It has been a long time. How's it going? But we are loaded into almost. Somebody's got to kick the hamster, I guess. But we're gonna find out. I have one more game to cast after this. And Cavalier, guest, you're welcome to join that one as well.
I would love to.
This is Cavalier guest game, yeah. So
we just got tired of swapping back and forth.
Right, we ended up like we were doing games at half-hour intervals, like on each other's channel. And it was all right. But looks like Steve-O did end up lagging out on. But a couple here. But I guess they're back. All right, they rejoined.
They weren't gone for too long.
They're back now. Over on the left side, it's 1 HP.
Yes.
Ashley Awil's on Zagara. Ildia is on Jaina. Pendy's on Brightwing. Phobia is on Greymane. Attack Turkey on Johanna.
And 4-5 Chen Mena, we have Franzi on Medivh, Cobra 167 on Uther, Steve-O on Muradin, Yabba Dabba Dabba on Chromie, and Tychus on something. I think it was one too many Dabbas there. It's hard to tell.
Yabba Dabba Dabba. I had a Joey Jojo Jr. in a game earlier, and I was like, all right, thanks. So that was a lot of fun. That was a tongue twister. 4 members of 1 HP sticking together, gonna rotate from mid to bot. Who do you think has the stronger wave clear here?
I mean, Medivh's wave clear in the early game is really weak, as is Chromie's. Tychus is only okay, so 5-Chen meta definitely going to struggle in that department, whereas the enemy team has the strongest solo laner right now in the game, I think, and they have Johanna and Jaina for the 4-man rotation plus Greymane. Like, there's no contest here. 1 HP is just going to dominate these lanes, and 5-Chen meta is going to have to decisively win team fights on shrines to not lose the shrines, just to the amount of area of effect that 1 HP has.
Yeah, I mean, that is definitely an angle I didn't consider when I was looking at the draft. Team fight advantage definitely goes not in the favor of 1 HP. 5-Chen meta has the upper hand on that. But as far as wave clear and establishing pressure across the map, it's kind of funny because Medivh's wave clear only comes from having someone on the other end to keep hitting with his Qs. So he's almost best served to rotate with them. But for right now, it seems like they've just
a little bit of that. Franzi was rotating in pro form, trying to keep an eye on them, make sure they didn't gank the Tychus. But you can only get one Q off in the duration it takes 1 HP to clear the wave, and then you have to sit there and wait for the rest of the wave to die to the rest of your Qs, and it's a relatively long cooldown for relatively low damage.
To their credit, they've been not only able to keep up for the most part, they had a slight experience advantage. First shrine is active down the bottom part of the map. Both teams rotating down there to see if they can get a positional advantage ahead of the other one. But Muradin is going up what? What? All right, no, he turned around. He pulled the U-turn. I was like, where is he going?
Sometimes people mistake which shrine is active. That might have happened to me. I might have been looking at the minimap and been like, oh, I think it's top, and it was actually bot. Lydia actually getting caught out here as Jaina getting this stun. Medivh gonna chase with the portal. The blizzard comes down, but he does force of will in time and gets out of it.
That was close, man. I mean, that blizzard was collapsing down in his face for real. Attack Turkey gets the stun. Blind goes out on Uther. That's not who you really need to worry about as far as auto attack damage goes. Force of will on Uther. Cobra 167, keeping some sustained. Blizzard getting value on a couple of members of 5 Chen meta. It's 17 to 21 and climbing. Right now, it's anybody's Punisher.
Salted Snake and Chromie doing so much work here. They're constantly using their grenades and Chromie's W to steal the last hit on so many minions. They should be so much further behind than they are, but they're actually almost keeping up. They were ahead for a little bit, but 1 HP caught on, started making sure they finished those kills quickly instead of leveling them at low HP and trying to group them up. And they're going to win this shrine.
Yeah, and miraculously enough, neither team lose a hero in that progression. Over on 5 Chen meta, they had no health. So being able to skate away with that is something of a small victory, because it could have been worse. The team fight potential has definitely presented itself in 1 HP. They did a lot better than I thought that they would fare. I'm wondering if that will change once heroics come online, but doing themselves a service so far.
Like in comp, I also really think that portal talent at 13 is really important for Medivh, as well as that Master's Touch quest at 7 that he's going to have to take some time completing. But I'm surprised that 1 HP won the Punisher so hard, and they just went and got a camp and didn't push with it. They could have easily pushed with that. They could have sent one person to soak the lanes. They actually would have ended up at least a level ahead in terms of experience, since 5 Chen Meta doesn't have the wave clear to counter that sort of tactic, and instead they're almost even.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good point. And then they have so much representation in the top lane, everybody up here. The only thing I can think is maybe they were spooked, because they weren't exactly healthy either at the end of that team fight. So maybe they were just like, well, we're all going back to get the well anyway. By the time we go there, the Punisher will be like half health. Would we be better served just getting some kind of value somewhere else? But they're finally starting to split out. They need to make sure they're keeping on top of this experience. So
I'm a little surprised they didn't opt to trigger that well. They had enough time. They had the vision from the creep. They knew that they weren't getting rotated on just yet. They could have gotten that well. And if the next Punisher spawns top, that will end up being a pretty big mistake.
Bruiser can't claim. Gar's gonna start walking that bad boy across. Steve-O is here to catch. So both teams even in experience. No takedowns yet on either side. Looking at level 7 talents, the Master's Touch is picked up as we had expected, and that puts a target on the back of Medivh. Every team fight, I'm looking to take him out of the game, because I wouldn't want him to have 30 stacks. I'm wondering if 1 HP feels the same way, if it shifts their priority in these team fights. But Steve-O in the top, whoa, just barely is able to get away.
We do see Franzi in the mid lane, already up to 4 stacks off of that Johanna, just constantly poking her, flying around. Nice. He's just trying to stack up. Sometimes he's playing really selfishly right now, which I agree with. He is scouting the enemy team, but he's just trying to aggressively get that poke in and build those stacks. And he really needs to build them as quickly as possible so he can start sort of being a team player again with his portals and with his force of will.
It's hard to juggle how aggressive you want to be about that, because you can also get a lot of stacks by just hanging in the back, let other people be the targets, and you just casually hit people with Q a bunch of times. As long as Johanna sticks their face out there like that, though, that's more or less free stacks, and there hasn't been much value to be had off of that, outside of the serious poke damage that's going on Uther. He has half mana, though, so he can ideally get himself back up to speed. But Steve-O being isolated, catches the force of will, but Uther's way forward for that stun on Greymane, isn't punished for it too heavily, though. Both of these teams are starting to poke each other down like they did before. I'm wondering who's going to get taken down first.
Franzi, these Force of Wills, some of them have been inconsistent. A lot of times he's using them after the damage gets done, so they actually don't prevent anything at all. And sometimes he's using them like clutch just before Blizzard hits him. So a little bit inconsistent there, but he is, at 12 stacks, he's almost halfway done with Master's Touch already.
Yeah, I mean, he's off to the races with that. He's using Force of Will at least to keep himself alive well enough. Shrine finally getting activated. Attack Turkey eating a bunch of damage. Actually, Tychus is going to fall first. Medivh, isolated, uses portal, is able to just barely escape. That would have been huge to get a kill on him and send his stack count back to 0.
Johan tried to pursue. It did get time trapped, and he's at 16 stacks, but no health left. Doesn't have tap, or did have tap available. Has tap. He's going to try and go back in here and try and get more damage here. But again, so much wave clear from 1 HP. They're just absolutely destroying these shrines.
Yo Dabba Dab is doing what he can to try to get some damage in there, and he's been landing those W's in Sand Bless well enough, but it hasn't netted any kills. It hasn't given him any advantage here. 1 HP is able to hold out. They withstand this long enough to claim the second Punisher of the game. I'm wondering with these heroics that they're about to pick up if they're going to change their strategy. But with Attack Turkey already starting to hearth back, I think they're just going to let this one run on its own again.
I'm really surprised at the Chromie talent choice. We do see Dragon's Eye picked up, which gives you more damage in the center, but less sustained damage on the shrines, which is where we normally see Moby Slip. But we almost always see Dragon's Eye picked up with Temporal Loop for that OTK combo, and instead she went Slowing Sands. I don't think those talents have a lot of synergy together. I kind of wish she'd gone Mobius Loop and Slowing Sands or Dragon's Eye loop, particularly on shrines where it's important to get that last big hit in on the minions so you can steal the kills from like really far away. I just don't like that choice on Chromie.
I mean, in this situation, Slowing Sands, like, if you're worried about being dove upon, you have Medivh. Like, Force of Will can negate a lot of that damage. So I agree with you. The Slowing Sands seems like a curious choice. I think being able to set up those wombo combos with the Temporal Loop would have been a little more favorable. But, I guess they just felt like they'd get more value out of that. It would slow Greymane down when he jumps in. It's the best thing that I can think.
Oh, we see Divine Storm picked up for Uther. No Divine Shield here. Gonna go for that stun lock combo with the Muradin, with potentially as a follow-up to Leyline Seal. We haven't seen Divine Storm very often in Cherry League, and it's never been very effective when we have seen it. So hopefully that Cobra breaks the chain of bad luck that Divine Storm has experienced.
I mean, Divine Storm is a heroic I'd put in the win more category. Like, you can just get away with it to be cheeky and just have that added lockdown. It's not, you know, as game-changing as Divine Shield by any stretch of the imagination, in my opinion. But they haven't really had the success that I feel would embolden a team to be like, I can get away with Divine Storm here. So, how well they use this is definitely something I'm keeping my eye on. It's been a pretty low takedown game. Maybe they just feel the added lockdown's the difference maker.
Maybe. And we do see also Burning, or Holy Fire, excuse me, the Uther specific version of Burning Rage picked up at level 7. So he's going to have more wave clear and more clear on the shrines with that talent, but he's not going to have cleanse versus any potential blessed shields or Ring of Frost that come down. So any isolation that 1 HP can pull off is going to stick.
The wave clear potential that 1 HP has is really starting to pay itself off. They're right around the corner from hitting level 13, even though they've only had 1 takedown. Those 2 punishers have started to add up. So again, we find ourselves in a situation where 5 Chen meta staring down the barrel of a tier disadvantage. The shrine is activating. It's up now. 13 is picked up off the back of that structure being claimed. But it isn't slowing Steve-O down at all. He jumps in after the Storm Bowl. He's ready to rock.
Divine Storm does come down, actually gets a number of stuns, but Ring of Frost in a corridor does so much damage. Jaina gets counter-killed, as does Zagara. I can't believe they dove in a talent 2 down like that, just being so aggressive, and they actually managed to secure 2 kills. The zoning laser and the slowing sands did so much work in keeping the team split, not letting the support get there, and Brightwing ended up going down as well.
You gotta respect the laser, man. I mean, that Dragon Laser Drill was doing all kinds of work to them. That impressive amount of burst surprised me. I guess the Chromie abilities just lined up correctly. The Ring of Frost went down. It locked someone down, but they're making a believer out of me with this Divine Storm setup. That was huge in that fight.
And Divine Storm is good in those chokes, and it does give you that increased lockdown duration, which is perfect for that Chromie setup. As long as someone's standing still for, 2.5 full seconds, you're guaranteed to land that additional Chromie damage, which is going to make that Dragon's Eye talent pay off.
What's kind of awkward about this is that the death timers are short enough to where everybody on the side of 1 HP is back, and 13 still isn't picked up for 5 Chen meta, so they could still end up losing this. No, they do get the Arcane Punisher, the best of the 3.
And Master's Touch is already finished.
So we're gonna see Medivh's numbers be affected by that. He's leading their team in damage, even over Chromie, 20,000. Impressive Medivh play so far.
and they, 5-10 meta opted to push with their Punisher, so they instantly got that front wall, and they're putting so much pressure on 1 HP. The slowing sands behind the fort, threatening that the ability to engage. If they try and go too deep on the Punisher just go to them, and they're going to get the entire fort before they back out here. 5-10 meta getting so much more value out of their Punisher than 1 HP did off of there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be a light bulb going off in the minds of 1 HP. Like, maybe we should push with ours. Maybe we can get some more value that way. But I'm starting to see the genius in this slowing sands. The casting range allows Chromie to put the enemy team in a position where it's like, do we even really try to step forward to burn this Punisher down? Because we're all just going to be slow, and then we're going to be fish in a barrel, quite literally, for Chromie. They pretty much had to stand back and watch that fort drop, and then they got stunned by the Punisher anyway.
Both teams at this point just doing camps, trying to essentially assert Merc dominance. I think it's actually more important for 5-10 meta because their wave clear is so poor, but they do have so much single target damage with the Tychus and with the Chromie. They can more easily do camps than they can clear camps.
And Lydia's got that burst damage from Chromie on Jaina is a point of concern. Even Johanna's getting chunked down pretty well by that. As Chromie continues to land these attacks, I can see why they lost 3 heroes in that last team fight. They got to find a way to get the Chromie.
Johanna did app for Burning Rage over Spell Shield, so she doesn't have any sort of mitigation against that intense burst damage that's going to happen. And Zagara actually went Hydral's Transfusion over Spell Shield as well. I think that's a little bit of a mistake. Spell Shield, I mean, there is Shield Dust from Brightwing as well, but they do stack. I really hope we see Bouncy Dust picked up by Brightwing in 16 to help mitigate more of this damage that's coming in from the Chromie.
Yeah, I think they're going to need that. I mean, normally you see like Critterize or another polymorph talent, but in this immediate case, Chromie's going to end up eating them alive if she's allowed to just hang back. And I mean, look how much damage she's putting on. Look at that. Like, that Sandblast hurts. Ashley AWell's like, ouch.
Worth noting, Chromie has not even finished her level 1 Deep Breathing quest yet. She has 10 more hits to go, so her W is going to do even more damage in the very near future.
It's going to be interesting. The experience is about even. 3 takedowns to 1. Everybody's here. This is going to be a very important team fight for certain. Franzi just kind of hanging around, giving a vision away, making sure no one's playing too cheeky. But he pops out and eats a bunch of damage. And you want to talk about the late force of will? He got chunked down for real, but the Divine Storm comes in here, and Medivh is ready for launch. And then Uther flies away as well. They're getting blown up right now.
They're trying to do a cute wombo combo with Leyline Seal, isolating 2 targets, but the rest of the team backed up. They supported. They did the counter engage. They killed the Medivh. They killed the Uther, even after that Devouring Maw came down. And they ended up getting, and the Devouring Maw ended up coming down actually for the zoning, and they ended up being 2 kills to none there for 1 HP.
I mean, I don't know if their ragdolls landed yet on my screen. Like, their bodies flew. And they didn't have to use Ring of Frost for that. So they still have, some form of engage or a serious threat. But Jaina still has that ace up her sleeve. That was a very convincing team fight for 1 HP. Definitely going to ignite a spark in them. But Yo Dabba Dabba, man, he is really... Jaina's gone.
That grenade actually knocked Jaina into the Stormbolt, and after that, there was just nothing left of her after the Chromie Q hit. That was some amazing coordination. 3 abilities hitting her at exactly the same time.
If you're watching this through the Chair League site, please give Yo Dabba Dabba some clicks for that, because he single-handedly won this Punisher phase for 5-Chin meta. Like, he was poking people in the face the hard way with those Sandblasts. I'm impressed. I am personally impressed. And that's going to be huge. That's going to dictate the terms of the late game. They're going to get the experience advantage. They were down in takedowns. Now they're up 7-3. And the damage has really come online. 5-Chin meta. Holy crap.
The sustain has come online as well. We do see reabsorption pick up from Medivh. They're going to get a lot of safety out of that, including they have something to bridge the fact that the Uther heals have such a low cooldown. And that's another Divine Storm.
He just got jumped. Like, I don't know how else to put that. Like, that portal showed up right there after the Leyline Seal, and all of his friends were there. That was insane. that's another staggered death. Greymane being taken off the table. That's some of the range poke that's not going to be available to them. This Mortar Punisher still has 81% health after the fort goes down. They're looking at least this keep wall. Is that a Johanna bot? And a Zagara bot?
Apparently, maybe we should pause. They're not asking for a pause.
Are they not pausing?
They're not. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, I mean, that pause came in a little late. Because I was like, Johanna? Zagara? What? That hurts. Steve was like, no worries. Yeah, we do have the pause there. Gives us a moment to look at some of the towns. Like you said, reabsorption, that's going to be a thing. Gathering Radiance, not something you see every day. It's 16. Each hero, Holy Radiance, passes through, increase the healing and damage of your next Holy Radiance by 8%. A lot of confidence in his ability to land those.
Yeah.
Good choice there.
And we almost always see, especially with, we don't see Divine Servant very often, but we almost always see it with Benediction because you can stun Divine Storm stun, and you're going to get a guaranteed. I guess it's only 3.25 seconds of stun now, but it's a long stun for one hero to have in their own kit with their own cooldowns.
Greymane goes for Executioner at 16, pairs well with Jaina, who slows everybody forever, always. So look to see Greymane get some more value there, provided he's not getting blown up after a Portal Divine Storm progression. I mean, I'm still cracking up over that. Like that was impressive. Back.
Just wait till they come up.
Yeah.
We also we didn't see Bouncy Dust picked up, so we're not going to have that mitigation for Chrome's damage that we're kind of expecting. We did see a talent that actually only ever got picked on this map before Jaina's rework, Ice Flows. It reduces the cooldown of her Cone of Cold and doubles the width. They buffed it a little bit. Now it reduces the cooldown by 1 second per target, up to a maximum of 5 seconds per cast. And it actually helps you clear the shrines very effectively as a Jaina. Looks like we are back in the game.
Yep, we are back. Yeah, but I mean, that disconnect came in at the wrong time, losing both of those heroes. Lydia, 100 health, trying to escape. Franzi's not able to secure the kill there. Makes it back to home base with his keep. Is the apple of 5 Chen Meta's eye. I do believe that... No, they're actually just going to back away. They don't want to throw the game. Safe choice.
I mean, I don't know about that being the safe choice. They didn't secure the keep. And I think that having that catapult pressure was absolutely critical. They could have even traded to death for that keep. They really want to make sure that keep goes down. So they backed off before it even happened. We might be seeing a little bit of some sportsmanship here. They didn't want to take the keep when they got those 2 free kills because of the DCs.
That's fair. That's a really good point. I didn't think about that. I would have felt a little dirty doing that myself. Now I'm thinking about it. So good on them. 5 Chen Meta. Props to you for that. They are going to get the Bruiser Camp, get the Siege Camp in the bottom right corner as well. Well on their way to hitting level 20. 10 takedowns to 3, so the team fight potential that we were talking about and 5 Chen Meta's composition has definitely come to pass for them. But if they are able to start securing some of these keeps, it shores up the holes that they have as far as wave clear goes. And 1 HP is going to have to do something about that before long.
Knowing that 1 HP's top Bruiser Camp did actually win the fight because they had their wave there, and 5 Chen Meta did not. So that Bruiser Camp's going to continue to push for quite a while, and all of 5 Chen Meta is in the bot lane trying to secure this fort. Now they've had 20, so that Bruiser Camp could do a lot of damage if they don't respond to it soon.
I mean, this late in the game, being down a talent tier, I wouldn't have too many problems giving up the bottom fort in this instance. They could have... tried to pressure the top lane a little bit more with their Bruiser Camp. They rotate down here to clear out the Siege Camp. They're kind of lucky that 5 Chen Meta hasn't really tried to put the screws to them on that, because they definitely don't want to have a team fight right now.
And if they had pressured that and maybe sent like Zagara in the mid lane to put down creeps, they knew that they were getting rotated on. They would have seen them back once with the fort up. If they just gotten the fort in back, they could have gotten maybe another half level of experience. And they need to get that 20, right? They can't fight at the shrine until they have 20. So they need to just keep soaking until that happens. They would have been a little bit further ahead with those free structure kills.
They're in something of an interesting spot now. They're a full level away from hitting level 20. The shrine is activating right meow. You're going to see the members of 5 Chen Meta show up. Yo Dabba Dab is hanging out in the back, curling that evil mustache, looking to find people to hit with those sand blasts. The The driver's seat is completely had by 5 Chen meta right now. They're going to help themselves to this Punisher and dare 1 HP to really try to do something about it.
Trying to contest the Shrine. They're going all in. All 5 of them are here. No one is soaking. They do have Merc pressure in the mid lane, but we have Slowing Sands in the top. We have Laser coming down in the middle. Zagara in the bot lane on the bot side getting picked off, and they shouldn't even be here. They shouldn't be fighting down this talent tier, and they're absolutely going to lose this fight and then lose the Punisher.
Yeah, this is another one of those Hail Mary instances we were talking about this last game. In these sorts of situations, you have 2 options. The enemy team gets the Punisher, or you die and the enemy team gets the Punisher. I mean, they lost the fight being up a talent tier, so maybe they thought they could return the favor, but doesn't look like it's happening this time, Cavalier.
No, Greymane almost got the kill, Greymane almost got the kill on Stevo, but healing static came down in time to save him. And then Force of Will came up, and he actually got healed off the Greymane's damage, and that was all it took. Johanna's the only one who lives to tell the tale, and they're still not 20. I'm just putting that out there.
I mean, that's a back-breaking decision. They could have pressured top. They could have got the top keep wall. That would have helped them. They could have just put pressure on the keep, tried to split up the members of 5 Chen meta. Done anything but go in there to get their faces ripped off. They're still not going to have level 20 by the time everybody's back up. This Frozen Punisher, 98% health. Targeting this bottom keep. It's going to take some diversion shenanigans to have him go from the bottom keep to mid if they want to try to turn this around.
We do see Franzi positioning in the side here. Normally you have to kill this side wall in order to get in there with the Punisher follow-up, but he can just portal his entire team over the wall and do so much damage, and they don't even need to do that. They just barrel through the wall like the Kool-Aid Man and kill Johanna.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they didn't even use Blessed Shield, so not having that kill on Johanna might have just sealed the game. That stun follow-up after the John Cena stun is definitely not conducive to keeping this game alive. Ring of Frost goes down, lands on Medivh, but look at that Force of Will value, followed up reabsorption, finds himself up on health overall. Lydia's going to drop. Divine Storm locking down Greymane, getting value out of that heroic, but this is going to be GG.
We saw it at PAX. We're seeing it in Cheerleague. People have been practicing with Medivh, and Medivh is a game changer. Once your team knows how to play with the Medivh, you put in that practice, you understand when to take the portals, you understand the synergies that are possible, the combos that are possible. He's just a really scary hero.
I mean, I remember talking about Medivh when he came out, and I was like, how do you give someone a 5-second invulnerability? In coordinated play, like, how do you, with a straight face, just leave that on the table for somebody? And he was a menace all PAX West. He's showing up in Chair League now. I mean, like you said, teams are learning how to play with this guy, learning how to do it. So you might see him get banned a lot more often. It might be Gara and Medivh not making it out of the first ban phase, especially once these teams know like a team has a good Medivh player. Like, that was tough.
I think that this is going to be a season where, especially with the match history options that we see on Trail League coming up and the ability to follow teams and the ability to look at past drafts, we're going to see a lot of respect bans being drawn out. And I think Medivh, for a lot of teams, is going to be one of those respect bans. There's going to be teams just like, we don't want to deal with this. But there's going to be other teams. There's going to be more creative teams. They're like, we're going to let you pick Medivh, and we're going to play around it. We're going to find a solution to the way Medivh plays. We're going to practice against Medivh players, and we're going to beat your Medivh comp. And there are options out there for how to beat Medivh comps. They exist. But they require a lot of execution, just the way Medivh requires a lot of execution to play with. He requires a lot of practice and execution to play against.